A blazing fire tore through the horizon, painting the sky with strokes of gold and crimson. Shadows danced across the trembling earth as countless souls stood frozen, staring at the unfolding blaze. And in that moment, a truth long hidden began to whisper. Not all that glitters in the light is pure, and not all who stand appear righteous are truly awake. Few understood what was coming next, yet the fire would reveal what had always been real. The world we knew, the comfortable, the familiar, was about to face a division more profound than any before. It was a separation, subtle yet undeniable, between those whose hearts were anchored in wisdom and those who clung to fleeting illusions. And as the first sparks fell, a question burned brighter than the flames themselves. Who would endure? And who would be swept away by the shadow of their own choices? The air carried a heavy scent of anticipation. From the highest hills to the smallest valleys, whispers spread among the people. Some laughed, unaware of the impending reckoning, while others knelt silently, feeling a tug at the depths of their soul. It was not a fire meant to destroy the earth, but one meant to illuminate it, to reveal the unseen. And in that quiet, almost sacred tension, a voice called, not audible yet unmistakable. It spoke to the heart, asking the questions no one dared ask aloud. Who have you truly been? What lies have you harbored in secret? And what will you stand for when the fire burns through the masks you wear? The first to awaken were few, like small embers catching a sudden gust of wind. They had walked in silence, observed the world with eyes unclouded by vanity or deceit, and carried in their hearts a quiet fidelity to truth. The fire recognized them, almost as if it had been waiting for these hidden souls. Others, however, stumbled in confusion. Their faith had been shallow, their courage easily quenched by comfort or fear. And when the fire revealed the depth of reality, they recoiled, blinded by the very illusions they had trusted for so long. And maybe that is our own hidden battle, to face what we cannot ignore, to confront the reflection of our choices in the heat of divine scrutiny. Among the chaos, stories emerged. A mother, holding her child, realized that protection was not found in walls or wealth, but in faith and discernment. A merchant, proud of his riches, discovered that abundance means nothing when the heart is weighed against eternity. And somewhere, in a hidden corner, a scholar who had studied the words of Scripture for decades finally saw their living truth, not as text, but as fire and light shaping reality itself. The fire, relentless yet precise, separated the superficial from the steadfast, the distracted from the devoted. Every flicker illuminated a choice, a path, a destiny that had long been obscured by the clamor of the world. And the deeper one looked into the blaze, the more the hidden became revealed. Conflict came not from the fire alone, but from the resistance within the human heart. Pride, doubt, and fear rose like shadows from the ashes, attempting to suffocate clarity and dim the flame of revelation. Those who clung to their illusions found themselves torn, a tension between comfort and conscience, between what had been easy and what was eternal. But in the midst of turmoil, the wise recognized a deeper rhythm. The fire was not punishment but purification, not destruction but illumination. It revealed the hidden veins of truth that ran beneath the chaos, offering guidance to those willing to see. And maybe that is the essence of faith, not the absence of struggle, but the courage to stand in it, illuminated, even when the path is unclear. A young man wandered through the charred fields, his heart heavy with guilt. He had followed the crowd, seeking approval, power, and fleeting recognition. And now, as smoke curled into the heavens, he faced the stark realization. All that he had built on shallow ground crumbled in the fire's gaze. Yet in his despair, a small light flickered within, a chance to rise, to choose differently, to seek the truth he had long ignored. Across the valley, a woman stood alone, her hands raised to the sky. Tears streaked her face, yet her spirit shone brighter than the flames around her. She had endured hardship, loss, and doubt, yet her faith remained unwavering. And as the fire swept across the land, she felt not fear, but a deep recognition. The fire reveals not only the fallen, but those prepared to stand unshakable, anchored in love and wisdom. The fire's glow painted the faces of those who resisted and those who embraced it. It was as if God himself had set the stage, allowing each heart to reveal its true alignment. And in that moment, whispers of eternity seemed to echo through every soul. Who are you when everything familiar is stripped away? Even the animals sensed the shift. Birds circled overhead, their wings catching the golden light, while beasts of the field paused, sensing a sacred tension in the air. Nature itself seemed to acknowledge that this was no ordinary day, no ordinary reckoning, but a divine unveiling, a hidden separation unfolding before mortal eyes. Reflection hooks appeared quietly, almost like a secret between the narrative and the listener. And maybe that is the question we must ask ourselves in every trial. When the fire reveals the hidden, will we face it, or flee into shadows? The climax approached as the fire reached its zenith. Flames leapt toward the heavens, yet in the midst of roaring heat, a calm settled over those whose hearts were attuned. They understood that survival was not about avoiding the fire, but walking through it with discernment and unwavering trust. And in that divine moment, the separation became unmistakable. The steadfast were set apart, their light unshakable, while the blinded faltered, seeing the world anew, too late to reclaim the ground lost to shadows. A shepherd, tending a modest flock, realized that true wealth is not in possession, but in obedience and care for what is entrusted by God. A teacher, who had led many in thought yet neglected the spirit, wept quietly, recognizing that knowledge without heart is a fragile armor against the trials of divine fire. And a child, innocent and unassuming, walked calmly through the smoke, untouched by fear, embodying the purity and simplicity that the world so often overlooked. The fire did not destroy indiscriminately. It revealed, it separated, it refined. Those who resisted with pride and fear felt the scorching, while those who embraced with faith and humility felt a warmth not of destruction, while of illumination, a sacred light that nurtures the soul even amidst trials. Resolution came not as a sudden cessation, but as a gentle unfolding. The fire's heat waned, leaving the earth scorched yet transformed. The wise walked forward, carrying lessons etched in spirit and memory, while the rest faced the long, humbling process of reckoning with their choices. The day had revealed what was real, that faith, courage, and truth cannot be hidden, and that the fire, though fearsome, serves as a divine mirror, reflecting the soul's depth. And as silence returned, the whispers of eternity lingered in the wind. Some would forget, some would remember, but all were forever marked by the day the fire revealed what was real. Perhaps, in our own lives, fires of truth quietly blaze, moments that strip away pretense and reveal the essence of who we are. Will we stand in the light, or falter in the shadow? The fire waits, patient and unwavering, for each heart to answer its silent, divine call.